summer, summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summer, summer, summertime, summertime.
Hi there, Cancer, and welcome to your modern shaman, Maria in RainbowLand here from Denmark, Rosanne. If you're not Cancer, then your sign is right down there in the text, and you just click it. Wow, the sun really came up now. You just click the sign and into there. This is your modern shaman with the weekly heartful forecast for the week that starts at the 4th of September and ends at the 12th of September 2018. And I'm here with the 7 signs of the week. And the first sign of the week for the Cancers is that Mercury is moving forward into your 3rd house of communication. It's moving out of your 2nd house, Leo, on the 6th. So it's ending up, it's a passage there, and the only thing that's left in regards to your resources is the North Node here in this zone. It's going into your 3rd house of communication, where it's activating the Grand Trine. The Grand Trine in Earth, between your 3rd, 7th and 11th house. This means that now you have the chance to open up your communication skills and speak from your heart to the world. It's your chance to get into a flow where you naturally follow the trace of your intuition and your feelings to actually, with Mercury here in the 3rd house, in a rational way, because he is at home. He's moving into his 2nd home sign. Gemini and Virgo are the signs of Mercury. So Mercury here will make you have a clear communication and create better foundations between you and other people. It's going to create a way for you to actually express yourself and plan for the future if you don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions. If you stop anticipating that other people activates these things in you because you're more sensitive towards what other people feel. And often this creates reactions of a domino effect, where you then start expecting them to give you bad feelings inside, and then you start protecting yourself, and through the protections you have an anti-thing in your system that will attract more of it if you aren't aware of it. But this is the chance to let go of this tendency in a way. So if you let Saturn, because Saturn in your 7th house of relationships is really trying to teach you something, but he's strict and you don't like that. Sending in very strict people to show you a strict way of being with others, because he's cold, so he's non-emotional, and he doesn't care about your emotions. He just wants you to be better in your relationships, to communicate better, and to not be as sentimental, but be more grounded in your contact with the world. Be more grounded in your words, and also Uranus will help you open up doors for the future. Uranus will help you through your friends, through your group of people, your community. You will be able to make better plans for your future if you stay grounded, if you don't let yourself be taken over by your emotions. Sign number 2 of the week is Saturn moving forward in your relationship house. And Saturn is again the planet of structure, cutting to the bone, removing everything unnecessary for a realistic relationship. But he has also been blocking you moving backwards, making you feel like you were stagnated in a situation in your relationships. These things will smoothen up now. These things will be brighter and lighter for you to deal with now. Saturn here. Uranus will help you again, but Saturn here moving forward. He's not the fastest planet, so he's slow. So you will feel like, it takes a while. Yes, it does, but it will move forward. Sign number 3 of the week is Venus. Venus in your 4th house, your natural house of home, of your foundation, of your personal life, your inner child. And here, Venus is going to make a square to Mars in your 7th house. I'll talk about that in sign number 5. But what this means also is, because Venus is in its cycle where it's going to retrograde, in its shadow cycle. It's moving forward, but now it's in this area, moving forward, where it's going to retrograde backwards and move forward again. So 3 times it will pass the same. So the issues that starts now with other people will be here until it's out of this zone on the 18th of December. So you have to expect that there's a lesson life want to teach you. It's not about the other people changing their ways. It's about you changing how you are with other people. Because if you change something within so you don't need to react, then there will be no problem when others are being stupid or foolish or silly. So you don't have to judge them, because every time you judge yourself. Other people are another you. That's what we have to remember before we react to others. Even though it's so hard for anyone. The world mirrors you. So if there's conflicts without, it means that you have something within that attracts it or anticipates it. So you have to reorganize yourself. And Venus in this retrograde phase will help you have better connections, especially because it's about the connections of your home foundation. There's something here that needs to be improved. And also in your romantic relationships, because she's going into, on the 9th, Scorpio, your 5th house of romantic relationships, of your children, of other people's children, creative projects, or if you're independent, your business, of your ability to follow your heart without fear, but with a brave heart, like the lion. She's going to make a good aspect to Saturn again in your relationship sector. So again, listen to Saturn. He will show you the way through structures that you have to follow, even though your emotions may tell you something else. You can also not follow them, but he will send in someone harsh that will tell you some truths if you don't follow them. So a rebellious way here will just kick some butt at the end. That won't be nice. Let me check if the camera is still rolling, because I don't know if you noticed, but I had to turn it on again. I looked in the beginning. I had some issues with. And the sound is on again. Yes, the sound is on again. Oops, it's good that I have the earplugs. All right. So, sign number 4 of this week. It's the moon, your planet, or your luminary, your ruler. It's starting through Saturn, where it brings sensitivity to you and your personality, because it's in opposition first to Saturn and then to Pluto. So you will definitely feel a little under pressure by other people again, but again, breathe deeply. Know that this is something you can transform, that something was reflected in your outside world that came from you, that you can transform. Then it goes for your 2nd house of finances, where it brings up, these are magnetics, where it brings up some issues having to do with your money, having to think about these things again, hopefully in a nice way. Even though there may be some worries, then try to let them go and trust, have faith and trust in the process. Then he goes into Virgo, where he meets up with Mercury that made the grand trine for you and Earth in your communication sector. Your plans for the future, other people, relationships in general. So again, you have a chance to improve here and benefit from this grand trine. Please do so. It's a rare trine. You can change in these regards. Then meets up with the sun, and that is the new moon. When the sun and the moon is together like this, the moon is new. Every time we have a new moon, we have a chance over half a year to improve ourselves within this field of the zodiac that it falls in for use in your communication sector. Half a year later, when the moon is full in the same place in March, you will see the results of the work you do over the next 3 months. And it's about your future planning, but it's primarily about your communications, also with your brothers or sisters, environments. No matter if the brothers and sisters are your real brothers and sisters, or just who you feel are your brothers and sisters. And your environment in general, your communication, skills for communication is also actually computers and cars that takes us from A to B, bicycles, means of transport, telephones, iPads. So whenever there's the bad aspect here, there's a chance that those things can... Whoops. So something happened with the light, the sound again. Let me see. Sorry about that. So basically you can improve these things over the next half year and you'll see the results in half year. Good luck with that. Mars is moving signs on the 11th, the full moon is on the 9th. But before that he's making the square to Venus in your 4th house of home, foundation, family, issues here where you again are called upon not to react because Mars here is reactive. He's impulsive, but he's in the same zone, room as Saturn and Pluto. And this means that you are called upon to follow the rules because it's Saturn's home, not Mars, even though Mars is doing good here. And Saturn says, we don't want your feelings and we don't want reactions to your feelings. So if you want to improve your situation in your 4th house of your home and foundation, you do as I say, and that is just follow the rules. Don't react. Don't send me any anger, frustrations. Don't talk bad about me behind my back, because I will punish you then. So you might as well be the responsible one and just meditate, breathe in, and send out good energy. Embrace whoever is doing something to you that you feel is unfair. And you feel that Saturn is too hardcore. I always felt Saturn was too hardcore. I was born with Saturn close to my moon, so I always felt that kind of thing was too hardcore. But rebel against Saturn will just give you a slap in the face. You might as well just do what he says. Then you will have good results. It pays off. Sign number 6 of the week. That is Jupiter. Jupiter in your 5th house, making an awesome sextile to Pluto in your 7th house, relationships, and Neptune in your 9th house, Pisces. This means that these three are working together on a spiritual level. If you are able to alter your consciousness and change spiritually right now, you'll be able to change your life in a better way in your relationships, Pluto and Capricorn, and your romantic relationships, your ability to follow your heart and be creative. And also how when you travel, both inner travel spiritually and also outer travels. And no drugs will take you where you want to go. Saturn is saying, you know what, don't skip any steps, shortcuts. If you try to do LSD to expand your mind and think, oh, I'm going to write this song, and if I do a trip of some kind, I'll write a better song. Saturn will say, no, I will punish you for not taking the steps it takes or trying to shortcut. No matter what drug we do, especially certain drugs actually. There are certain drugs, I won't get into it, that creates holes in your astral body. Holes in your astral body takes a long time to heal. So if you do drugs, you have to know that you can attract low energies that can come in through these holes that you cannot control. So I strongly advise that you take the right steps and spiritually travel on the journey where you are responsible. That is a good advice, I believe, and I encourage you to follow it. So yeah, there's a lot more to say, but I can't say everything in one report. I make 24 every week now for Spanish people as well. Spanish people are much more open to these reports because apparently their hearts are a little more open to my style, but maybe also the way they react is always... I'm not saying that, it's just that so many more people are now on, so maybe we need to learn something from the Spanish people about opening our hearts, because they really, when they make comments, they comment about the heart and the feelings and the openness and the yin energy that I'm always talking about. So I'm really happy to see that the Spanish people are so, not the Spanish, I mean it's South America, Mexico, Spain, etc. So, yeah, interesting. But the sign number 7 of this week is the card of the week, but it's also this theme. the card I will draw at home while I film this beautiful landscape of the Heartfulness Meditation Center in Varsen in Denmark, so that you can hear it as a voice over the card that I draw. But what I want to say here is, as the theme of the week, crisis is your friend. So if you're in some kind of crisis, you have to know the crisis we are in are the best friends we have, because they will alter and change us into better souls and bodies. Crisis can create what we are longing for, and they take us down into the holes where the dirt is actually forming, where the lower energies of our system is actually blocking from us manifesting. There was some sound, I think they were turning over a tree down there, manifesting what we want. So the crisis can remove obstacles in our way. So when you get a crisis, trust. When you're in a crisis, trust that on the other side is a better path for you, no matter what triggered this crisis. Sign number 7 of the week, card of the week. Thanks. If you can, use nice shoe magazine. Oh, a tree is falling. So they just... Whoa. That was well done. Impressed. You felt the wind? My goodness, so this was a really, really good point was made.
Wait with the store. Yeah.
Andrea, if you are a little bit on my film on YouTube, it's the different star signs, is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I have a channel. Awesome, awesome. You are in the Taurus sign of the week. We are up here from Italy. He managed to take down a tree by his hands. While we were doing the report, he tilted it here. John is cutting it over here because he wants to start the fire. And I hope that he got it all filmed. So the card of the week for you guys, Cancer, is the 5 of Swords. And as you see, it shows a man, someone who... maybe he's the victorious one of the 3, and he is collecting the other people's swords, and the other 2 may be defeated, but and they're walking away from the man towards the water in the background, and the sky is kind of threatening somehow. It indicates that there's some kind of need to recognize the limits within the situation, and the work within these limits, which are now your present situation. So it's kind of mirroring a defeat or despair of some kind, indicating a fear of defeat, and maybe some battle was won with what do you call it? You know, less. The means were less bright. Let's say it like that, and the loser has to just accept that, even though the pride is wounded somehow. So in that way, the card can be seen very positively, because it indicates that you're ready to see your fear of defeat. And by seeing, understanding, accepting, and letting go of the fear, you'll be free. But you have to investigate if your fear of defeat has something to do with the past. Look back and something that was damaging your self-esteem. And it symbolizes that you, because of a fear in your thought, your body is being, tight, and your feelings are held tight to your body, and maybe you're also narrow-minded somehow. And it indicates that you have to look at the realities and be as constructive and creative as possible to improve your situation, and be careful not with your force and will to force through solutions without having investigated what or which kind of action is needed in the situation. So you have to accept your limits and your blocks before any changes can happen. So thank you so much for watching this week. I truly appreciate it. And remember, if you haven't subscribed already, that you can do so. And you can always leave any kind of comments here. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful nature images here. Big hugs from your modern shaman. See you next week. And of course, and by the way, you have to remember this. Don't follow trends. Follow your heart.
Summertime, summertime. Så du min og jeg vild